This is Sea Wild. Sea Wild is a 2 million power starlord on the Hydra server, and we're going to look at what he does in Dimension Duel. Let's get into it. As a lot of you may know, I work a very weird schedule compared to other people, so Sea Wild's not here to talk to me in person, but I have extensive information from his mouth, as well as a big write-up from him stating everything that I like to look for in these guides. So right here is the ability list. We'll go down the list. First we have all of his skills. Star-Lord is an interesting character where all of his abilities have all three options of flame, shock, and chill. He leans very heavily into the flame, and what that does is once you hit max stacks, it burns the target. When the target is burning, you do 20% extra damage to that target. Not just you, in a group environment, PvE, things like that, it's all sources that deal damage to the target is increased by 20%. But in Dimension Duel, it's just you, as well as your companion or whatever, but just to give you an idea of what's going on here. So we're going into the abilities. We got Space Pirate. He says it's good at stacking burn because it hits 4 or 5 times really quickly. He's also wearing the Sakar regional that increases flame. So all 4 of his damaging abilities are boosted by his regional, as you can see on the screen right here, all the +6s. Jet Boots says it's a great gap closer and helps you reposition. So what he means by those is when he does the Jet Boots, which is the kick, he jumps in, kicks you, does damage, and then shoots you a couple times to do damage. It has a long casting range, so if your target's further away, it helps you close that distance as well as reposition. So when you kick off, you go further away, meaning if your opponent's putting down an AoE, magic puts some stuff on the ground that does damage over time, as well as some other characters. So that can kind of help you, once you get in, do your damage, do your rotation, you can Jet Boots to either start the rotation or Jet Boots to finish the rotation and get away. We got Problem Solver. He says it's huge damage, hit multiple targets, and helps you move around the map. This is the little figure 8 move. This can dodge several abilities. So let's say Widow does her double shot, right? She does a wave in front of her. But if you problem solve her in the correct way, you can be on her right when the stuff goes in front of her. So you'll do the figure 8 to the right while she goes where you were at. That can happen. It's going to take some practice and some skill, but you can get some directional things like that down. Then we got Kickstart. This is the non-flame skill. It goes active dodge recovery. He does not do the crit chance. He does dodge recovery. It plays very similar to how acrobatics works on Widow. You get more dodge over time. You don't get a jump in it like Spider-Man and Captain Marvel, but over the course of a fight, you're getting 1, maybe 2 extra dodges out of it. Flame Cannon, huge instant damage. Hit this and you probably win. He pulls out his gun and he does an immediate burst in front of him, and it does some damage. I think it's with his bonus it'll be somewhere around 1600. Don't quote me on that. I believe it should be 1600% damage, which is a lot. Next we have his companions. He says, I find Icarus to be the most impactful on my matches. He allows more pressure to be added. If I don't win my match in the first 15 seconds, the chances of me winning die down drastically. Now, what do you do if you don't have Icarus, right? If you don't have Icarus, he doesn't give an example here, but I would suggest something like Yondu or Daredevil, depending on the matchup. Both really strong. You can also, if you're trying to do as he says and just win in the first couple seconds, something like a Gilgamesh could be really powerful. And now let's get into the specializations. And here we have his specializations. First, we have increased damage of the first skill used within 6 seconds after using a dodge skill. This is why he uses the dodge skill recovery. Because his first skill, if he dodges at the very beginning of the match, his first shot is going to do bonus damage. Then he does the next dodge, does bonus damage, next dodge, bonus damage. And that ultimate gauge recovery will give him a 4th, maybe 5th dodge during the course of the fight for bonus damage. Increased damage dealt to targets 50% or below by 25%. This is what he means by you get some pop shots in the beginning, max out your crit rate, crit damage, and you do your dodge in, get the bonus from the first specialization, which will help you once they get under 50%. They may not see the damage output coming, and then you hit them with the flame cannon at the end, and it gets the bonus from the dodge. So you do the dodge for bonus damage, as well as under 50% by another 25%. All multipliers work the same here, so you're just astronomical damage on your opponent under 50%. And here we go. Increase all type damage by 15%. And this is typed damage. So his basic attacks are not typed damage. So his basics aren't doing this 15% extra. But all 4 of his abilities are flame damage, which is a type. Flame is the type. So all of his flame abilities are doing 15% more damage. Decrease remaining cooldowns by 50% once every 5 times a skill is used. So every 5 skills, he reduces all of his cooldowns by 50%. Now, when he does, that's a full rotation. His cooldowns are pretty low, especially Space Pirate and Problem Solver have 5 or 6 second cooldowns, and if he has any kind of cooldown on his own, he could be blasting off those jet boots and flame cannon over and over. He also states for right here for specs, he uses these all the time. That being said, I do sometimes take out Grand Finale. For the other 2 I have listed here, but it's a rare option. As far as those other 2, we have Space Pirate Special Flame Bullet right here. An additional explosion to deal damage equal to 108% of attack upon landing a flame ability with an 8-second cooldown. He says he likes to play around with this, but it is not in his current lineup. His current lineup is those 4 that he uses, but this is one that he has been playing around with. The last option right here, Bounty Hunter Stable Breath. Increase status effect accuracy and accuracy rate by 20% when HP is 50% or higher. He doesn't specifically say why he plays around with this one, but I feel as though this is here because he didn't have full accuracy for a time. Now that he is capped out with 75% accuracy, well, 175%, he doesn't need this anymore. But any of you starlords that are wanting to work up your starlord, this is a good one to have to help you hit that cap. With this, you only need the 150. You only need 155, but it becomes an evolving one, right? So you use stable breath until you get to a point where other things are giving you enough accuracy, and then you can transition this away. That seems to be the plan right here. Next we have his Omega cards. No special notes were given, but if we look at it, we have the 2 set 6 with 7 grade, which increases their stats, as you saw from my Omega card video. Thor gives attack, Loki gives crit damage, their 2-piece is extra crit damage. So is Black Widow. Black Widow's special is crit damage. So is the Crossbones Way at the end is also crit damage. Then you have Storm, which is PvP decrease, and Captain Marvel, which is PvP increase with the 6th grade, giving her base stats additional. If you don't have these specials right here, he doesn't give any options, but from my experience, you can also do a 2-piece set 2 for attack and crit damage to try to get what he has over here on the far left going. Or you can still stay in set 2, and instead of doing attack and crit damage, you can do crit damage and cooldown reduction from the team up card. It's 2 setas plus attack, so that helps you out as well. He does bonus things based off of his cooldown, as we saw from the actives. So I believe that 2 set 2 for crit damage and cooldown will help you out a lot, as well as any other version of cooldown you can get. I don't believe we're looking for ultimate gauge recover from the Maestro card here. And if you're still having trouble with accuracy, the Dormammu accuracy card will probably help you out a lot. Next, we'll jump into... Last thing before we jump into the actual gameplay, we have several videos of his Dimension Duel to show you how he performs. I asked him for some tips and matchups for you guys, so I'm going to read over what he sent me over. Because against Doctor Strange, he can't keep up with damage. Doesn't really matter, as long as you dodge correctly, you can just walk all over him. Captain America says it's an easy matchup, but if he guard breaks you, you can lose, so you can't just ignore the matchup. Another Star-Lord, he says he doesn't see many of them, but basically you do dodge ability, dodge ability, dodge ability. Shouldn't have any issues. Storms, he says Storm only has one big move in PvP, which is Electrocute. As you know, she puts her arms out, and it does almost instant damage with high crit damage. If you dodge that, she can't keep up with your damage. However, if you don't dodge Electrocute, it will take half your bar, if not more. Winnable and easy matchup, just because of how your dodge combat works. You'll see it in the videos to come. Next, we have Iron Man. It's all about predicting their moves. Most Iron Men play generally the same way. This matchup is the easiest of the Elite Four, as in the top 4 characters in the game, in his opinion. If you dodge the missiles and hit your flame cannon, you're probably going to win the DPS race, is what he's saying. Black Widow is very difficult. This fight is about looking for your openings. Try to dodge the blind. This goes back to, he doesn't say it here, but this goes back to using your dodges correctly for the problem solver and the figure 8 ability, or even the jet boots to position yourself, because once Widow goes to throw any of her grenades, may it be blind, poison, sticky grenade, what have you, she does a throw to where the target was when she clicked the ability, as well as she moves to the side. If you do the jet boots to her, you'll no longer be where she threw it, or if you do the figure 8, you'll be over here when she threw over here. So he's saying you want to dodge blind and things like that. Let me get back to where I stopped off at. Save 1 dodge for the quick step strike. This is because when Widow does her dash, she dashes and then looks to the side for the next target. If you are too far out of range once that dash happens, then she will stop on that first or second or third dash. He's saying save a dodge so you can extend that distance when she goes to dash into you. You outdamage her, but you need to make sure that you can hit her when she's visible. Captain Marvel, this is probably one of his harder matchups. And fight is incredibly difficult. You have very limited windows on when you can actually hit a Marvel, so you spend most of the match running away and trying to find one of these windows to do a little bit of damage. I tend to retreat until I don't see them dodge, then hit him with Flame Cannon. Makes them panic because they're not used to losing a bunch of HP, and then when they go aggressive, you go aggressive. What he means by this here is she has an ability where she jumps in on you. That's how she gets her ultimate gauge. You want to go in on her when she jumps in on you, as well as a bunch of these marvels. He doesn't say it here, but it's something I've seen. Is a lot of them start they dodge into you like very start of the match. They do a dodge, do an ability, and then do faster, which is the front backwards iframe. Uh, what you need to do is you need to do your dance move, position yourself, and then when you see the faster animation, I believe I'll have to talk to C Wild, and I'll put a comment down below. I believe you need to do the dodge move after while that animation's going off, so that when they come out of the faster animation, you have an opening with your damage boosted to go in on them. Spider-Man, which is the last matchup, he doesn't have any notes for Magic, seeing as she's so new and no one's really playing it. But for Spider-Man, he says specifically, this match is like a 2-year-old playing a competitive game of golf with Tiger Woods. Take that as you will. It's impossible to win versus a properly geared Spider-Man. 90% of my losses come from Spider-Man. Star-Lord has no defense abilities, so Spider-Man's active and passive dodge. We typically don't have enough in the tool belt to get through their sustain. This match is very common to lose to someone 3 or 400k less than you. Best thing you can hope for, save your dodge for their iframe and hit them with flame cannon. If this goes through, you might be able to win versus a less geared Spider-Man. If it misses, the game's over. I agree with a lot of what he said. It sounds like Spider-Man and Captain Marvel are going to be the ones you have to practice the most against. But it sounds like you have a good chance against Marvel, but Spider-Man's probably your worst ever. Let's get into some of the gameplay and tell me in the comment section down below if you like this kind of video. Until next time, guys.